Joining us now to talk about that tweet is CNN political commentator and Republican strategist Alice Stewart and CNN political commentator and Democratic strategist Maria Cardona. They co-host the podcast Hot Mics from Left to Right. Thank you both for being here with us on this very important election day.
Together?
Elon's tweet.
Yes. Great to be here on such a big day.
Yeah, hopefully no hot mics this morning, though.
Absolutely.
No. So Elon's tweet, the first thing I thought when I saw this was what he had tweeted before he became the owner of Twitter, which was, for Twitter to deserve public trust, it must be politically neutral, which effectively means upsetting the far left and the far right equally.
That's exactly what I was reading when I was preparing for this segment, and I remember him saying that. And so when I saw that, I was like, well, this doesn't really match with what he wants to do with this huge platform that he now has. But then again, it kind of is, that's who Elon Musk is. We've seen him a little bit erratic as he has taken ownership of this tremendous platform, firing employees, then going back on that, saying what he said in April, and now doing this. You know, when I read it, I was like, oh, thank God so many voters now know how to vote, right? Said no voter ever. So I don't think it matters. I think people kind of look at that. And, I know, right?
What?
I think people look at that and they roll their eyes.
I feel like I'm watching the modern version of Citizen Kane. That's like this, you know, Elon Musk will have his rosebud moment soon. But it just seems irresponsible for someone who has this large of a platform to influence an election. I think it was right. Twitter must remain nonpartisan and neutral. But, you know, again, it's his company. He can do with it whatever he wants.
It is a platform for free speech on both sides. People are entitled to free speech, and that's exactly what he's doing. And in terms of, as you're pointing out, he wasn't afraid to use this platform or use this opportunity to really maybe offend people on both sides. Because if you really look at what he's doing here, he's appealing to independent-minded voters, the people that are really going to decide this election, and saying, go out there and do what you can to obviously vote Republican.
No, that's not who he's appealing to. He's appealing to Republicans on this. And I think if it was if he was saying vote Democrats, you'd be sitting here this morning going, I can't believe he did that.
The purpose of this tweet is to encourage people to vote Republican so we'll have a balance of power. Shared power is what helps to make
assuming a divided government gets more done and you don't result in gridlock. But I do want to ask you this, Maria, because more broadly, just speaking about, you know, what we're going to see, you have talked about the question about mobilization and energy, about Democratic overperformance in some of the primaries. But if that holds now, I thought Tim Alberta, the journalist from The Atlantic, put it really wisely on Twitter. He said, the only thing I know about tomorrow, this was last night, if Dems didn't have the Dobbs ruling, that was the abortion ruling overturning Roe, to mobilize their base and persuade some independents, they would be in for an absolute beatdown. I just don't think we appreciate the degree to which that one issue is preventing a 2010 type massacre.
I think that's partly right. Yes, I do. There's no question that the Dobbs decision injected massive energy and excitement because people were pissed off. They really were. And one of the things that
You said were.
A lot of women still are. And this is the point that I was about to say. One of the questions that I've been looking at throughout this election cycle, especially since Dobbs, is whether that energy, which we really saw manifest itself during the 5 House special elections, specifically New York 19, right? Where that was not supposed to go the way that went, and then the Kansas referendum, whether that was going to hold. What we've seen in early voting is that it has held, right? There has been massive early voting, record numbers, and right now Democrats hold a 4.5 million vote lead over Republicans. That's historic, over 2018 numbers, over 2020 numbers. Now, I think a lot of that energy is about the Dobbs ruling, but I also think it's about threats to democracy. And I know that a lot of people, even in my party, have been saying that's not really an issue that people care about. But that's just not true. We've seen it in polls where threats to democracy is one of the big issues that people look at.
I think they were saying, is that the best closing message for this president over the economy?
But for some people, the people who care about it, it is an important message.
Here's the thing. Certainly, the Dobbs decision did galvanize voters initially when Roe v. Wade was overturned. But as people learned more and realized that many states still allow abortions, there are not abortion bans in every state, they realized this doesn't impact me. So as we get closer to the election and people are looking at the ballot saying Dobbs versus jobs, jobs are top of mind for people. The economy are top of mind. And Democrats really did a disservice to themselves by focusing on abortion, by focusing on threats to democracy, which are important. But when you look at the issues top of mind for voters, it is the economy and it is crime. And
I don't think you're wrong about that, Alice, but I think that
Wait, what?
listen,
What?
I don't think you're wrong about the part that people care about the economy. That's always the first. But I think women do care. I'm just saying. I'm the only boy in the family. And seriously, and my sisters, my nieces, are all talking about this, and they don't go and say, oh, well, gas is now $2. It's just gas is cheaper.
Right.
Or, the price of bread is, $2 or $3. But man, I can't get, my right to choose or what have you. I don't think they look at it that way. I think when it comes to that, I think the woman's right to choose trumps, no pun intended, the price of milk and the price of gas in this particular moment. Now, whether that is going to be a driver, I can't really say. I don't know.
Can I just tell you, I have been working with a lot of these campaigns on the ground.
I should say woman's right to have control over her body
Absolutely.
is basically what it
Absolutely.
is.
And so anecdotally, I've been talking to a ton of women voters on the ground working with these campaigns. And what they undoubtedly say to me, Don, is that they can go into the polling booth and they will say, yeah, so things are more expensive now, but guess what? The economy will come back. My rights will not.
Yeah.
And that, I think, has been front and center.
Republicans are banking on the opposite happening
They
today.
are.
We'll see what the voters decide, of course. Polls open in just a few hours. Alice and Maria, thank you guys both so much for
Wait a
joining
minute, we didn't
us.
talk about, you guys have a podcast together. What is it called again?
Hot mics from left to right.
Is it great? Will we love it?
It is great. You will love it. It's on all the podcast platforms. This current podcast is about the election, about early voting, about turnout, and about what we're talking about now.
You just got the TV version preview just now.
There you go.
Lots to
And as
talk
you
about.
know, we don't pull punches, but we do it so civilly because we actually
Because,
really
guys,
like
we
each
got
other.
5 hours. We're good. We're good. We're having a good time
But
here.
the
We have
bottom
5
line,
hours.
the bottom line is go vote.
That's right.
All right, thank you both for being here.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much.